Hey guys, Justin here. So today I want us to do something kind of interesting. We're going to be making an iPhone calculator replica, including the whole iPhone interface, like the time, like this. And this is a quote unquote semi working time. And we got the little fake images right here to make it look like an iPhone. And for the calculator, it has most of the functionalities that an iPhone calculator comes with. So for example, obviously we could do like 2 plus 3 is 5. I'm not going to show you guys all the operations. However, we could also do things like chaining, the adding or the subtracting. So for example, we could do 9 times 3, which is 27, minus 4. 27 minus 4 is 23. Bam. So we also have the negative sign working. We got the percentages working. And also, once you type, you see the commas appended right away as we type, and the decimals work too. So I will show you guys in under an hour today on how to code this using React. And some of the things that we're going to be using in React is we're going to be using hooks. We're going to be using hooks, and we're going to be using useEffects, which is the lifecycle method equivalent in a functional component. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this, and I will see you guys soon in the tutorial. Hey, and before we begin the tutorial, I just want to show you guys my GitHub repo. Here you'll find all the code that we code along today. Link in the description below. You will also find all the images that you need for this tutorial. So please check that out, and if you like my content, subscribe, hit the like button, and hope you guys enjoy the tutorial. I just got done doing npx create react app. I called my app iPhone calculator, and I always like installing prettier, so I googled ESLint prettier. If you want to do this, you could do it too, but this is completely optional. And there's a couple things we have to do. Open up your terminal, and we have to do, I'm using yarn, so you can use npm if you want. Yarn add prettier, ESLint config prettier, and ESLint plugin prettier. Again, this is completely optional. I'm gonna grab this guy over here, go to my main directory, create a file called .eslintrc.json. No, don't ask me ever again. Get rid of that comma. There we go. All right, now everything seems to be in order. I'm gonna get rid of all my files that I don't need. I don't need most of these. I don't want these apps. I'll delete it later. I don't need this app test. I don't need the logo, service worker, setup tests. Get rid of all those. Go to my index. Remove the ones that I don't need anymore, like so. I like putting a space there. Remove my service worker. We don't have this app, so let's create one right now. I'm gonna make a new directory inside my source file called components, and within components I'm gonna make another folder called app, and within app I'm gonna have an index.js and then capital app.js, CSS. I'm gonna start by just putting that on my app CSS for now. I'm on app.js, import react from react const app, no props, return div class, I'm gonna call it app, and hello from app. Let's just make sure that works. Export default app, pretty here. And why is this giving me an error? I have no idea. Just ignore that for now. I'm gonna import the app that we just made from up one level, no, not up one level, just the same level, and like that. Let's see if that works. npm start. There we go. All right, now, so I'm gonna go to my most index CSS, select every element because I want to make everything box. Select everything, border box. Was it? No, box sizing. Make that the default. And my font, I know that, by the way, this is a calculator right now. I took a screenshot of my iPhone and I just put some notes for myself because I didn't want to waste you guys measuring all those. The font that they use for the calculator is Helvetica. So let's grab that from over here, bring that to the front like so. And that looks a little prettier because we're using Helvetica now, I think. All right, now let's go to our app and do some basic building the structure. So erase this hello from app. Let me zoom in for you guys. We have one part called, which I'm gonna call top, another part which I'm gonna call display, another part which I'm gonna call buttons, and the bottom right here. So let's make those divs right now. Top, I'm gonna just write fake hour. Right now it's 4:43. Fake time, I mean. And then display, I'm gonna just put 0 there for now. Div buttons, we'll put our buttons there. And div bottom, I'm just gonna have a little dash, a line there for now. Let's see what we have. All right, so that's not pretty. So let's start styling to make our app component look a little bit more like an iPhone. So I'm gonna use these as notes. I know those notes are pretty cryptic, it's just for myself. So the width of an iPhone is 563 pixels, at least in my picture, and the height is 1218 pixels. Background is gonna be black, and color of the text is gonna be white. Let's see what we have. I gotta import it to my app.index. So go to your app.index and import the app CSS file. There we go. I wanna round out the edges a little bit. Border radius 50, so let's add that over here. There we go. All right, now let's start styling each of our sections. What sections did we have again? We had top, display, buttons, bottom. Top. Let me just write this down. Display so that I don't forget the name of them. Buttons. Bottom. There we go. All right, so this is what I'm gonna do. I have some couple more notes here. The top is gonna be pretty much this thing right here. And according to my little document, height is gonna be 250 pixels, and padding is going to be, by the way, I think I'm forgetting something. I should have a padding everywhere too. So I think padding, you see this little small padding? I think that should be 20 pixels everywhere. Yeah, that seems decent. All right, so top is gonna also have a padding of 0 from top and bottom and 20 from left and right. And then the display is gonna have a font size of 130 pixels and margin bottom of 20 pixels. Buttons is gonna be a display grid later, and it's gonna have a grid gap of 20 pixels. Those are the gaps in between the grid items. And this one, we'll just leave that be for now. All right, so let's start styling this a little more. This looks a little too fat for me, so I'm gonna go to display and font weight 300. Oh no, just 300, sorry. There we go. We're gonna text align to the right. There we go. Now, seems like we're getting somewhere. So I'm gonna start dealing with our buttons. Now notice we have let's see, 1 2 3 4 5 by 4 grid. So let's make that for our buttons. So we have grid template. Let's see, which one do I want to start with? Rows. How many rows do we have? 1 2 3 4 5. So I'm gonna repeat 5 times 1 frame, 1 FR. I don't actually know what that stands for, but that's just gonna give equal distribution of all the cells. Grid template columns, similar, except we only have 4. And I think that's it for now. All right, so notice that we have all these buttons. I'm gonna make a button component that contains all those stuff. Let's go to components, make a new directory called button, capital button, new index.js, and also a button.css. All right, I'm at button.index, and let's get rid of some of these files that we don't need. There we go. All right, so import React from React, import our CSS file, which is empty currently. Const button, this one will have props. Return, what should we return? Div class name button. And I'm just gonna return it with AC just for now. Export default button. Let's bring that into our app. Import button from button. Now within our buttons, I am going to put a button here, but just put one just to see what it's like. And we have this AC here. Now let's stylize that real quick. Go to our button CSS, put our class capital button, and so the main color, I'm gonna make it this, which is background is 333. So that is this color here. The width of it is gonna be 110. Height is also 110. And we're gonna have a border radius of 50% to make it a circle. Let's see what we have so far. Yeah, so that's not looking good. However, if you do display, flex, align items, center, justified content center, this will center everything. There we go. Now that's looking a little too small. So font size should be 45 pixels. That's looking a little better. And what else do we want to do? I want to do, when I hover over it, I want to make it a pointer. So let's do cursor pointer. And by the way, I like keeping these alphabetized. So I'm just gonna use a functionality of Western. There we go. All right, so I am going to, this is gonna be pretty tedious. I'm gonna give a prop. One of my props is gonna be the content of our button. And it's either gonna be AC or 0 or 1 or plus or all that stuff. So I'm gonna destructure our props, and one of them is content, and then put content here instead of hard coding AC. Let's see if that works. I mean, it seems working. So if I did plus instead, yep, that works. All right, so this is gonna be the tedious part, but let's just grab, how many buttons do we have? Starting from the most bottom right, I'm just gonna copy and paste every single one in. So actually, let's just start from the top, AC. And then we have plus minus. So I don't know what symbol that is. But I'm just gonna Google plus minus symbol. Grab, no, that's not a picture, that's a picture. I'm gonna grab this guy right here. Bam. What else do we have? A percentage. I don't know. Do I have a percentage in my, yep. Percentage. What's next? Division. I do not know where that is on my keyboard. Division symbol. There we go. And then what's next? 7, 8, 9. 7. I'm just gonna use the number 7. I don't, although actually it doesn't matter. 7, 8, 9. And then what's next? Multiplication. I don't have that cross. Multiplication symbol. There we go. That looks a little better than using an X. Let me paste that in here real quick. Bring that over. And then we have what? 4, 5, 6. And then, if memory serves me correct, I think it's a plus, although I'm not sure. No, it's a minus. And minus, I'm not gonna use a hyphen. I'm gonna use a minus symbol. It's a little bit longer than a hyphen. Got it. Where is the minus sign? That. Yeah, you see this one's a little longer than the other one. Let's grab that one. Put that in there. And then 1, 2, 3. And then I'm pretty certain the next one is a plus. And then what do we have? We have 0 dot equal sign. 0 is a little wider. We'll take care of that later. 0 dot and an equal sign. So let's see what we have so far. I wish it looked like that right now, but it looks like this. All right, so the reason why we're missing a button is because the 0 should be a little bigger. So I'm gonna do this. If go to my button index, I'm gonna add another class here if it's 0. The way that I'm gonna do that is make this a ES6 string interpolation, put a button, and if, put a dollar sign, if content is equal to 0, then I'm gonna put 0 class here, otherwise nothing. Not nothing, an empty string. And it's complaining to me for some reason. No, it's because we need curly braces outside of the ticks. There we go. Now, if our button also has a 0, then we are going to have, let's see, width is gonna be a 250 pixels. That does not look good, so we gotta do something about that. We also have to make sure that typically in our app.css, every item within the grid will just take in one row, but we gotta specify and say if we have a button. Oh, this is not CS. Let's just put it here. This is not SS. Grid row. Let's see. Grid row. Where is it? Grid column, I mean, is gonna be from 1 and span 2. Let's see if that works. There we go. It's still looking pretty bad. So to stylize this, we can't use the typical styling. I'm gonna do this. Let's see. Border radius, instead of a percent sign, I'm going to use our actual pixel. Yep, that looks a little better, but now 0, we want this kind of like here. So the way that we are gonna do that is just make this position relative justify content flex done. Oops. There we go. Now let's put a little padding left to it. 43 pixels. All right, so that looks a little better. But now we gotta put colors into these. So I'm gonna have types to our buttons. If it is so I'm gonna make these function types, make these operator types, and these will just be default. So for AC, plus minus %, we're gonna have type is gonna be a function, and for our division, multiplication, minus, plus, whoops, equal sign is gonna be a type operator, and let's destructure type from our button and do this. And put another conditional statement here. If type, I could just put type here, and if type was nothing, then just like our number buttons, they don't have any type, then we're just gonna put or and empty if undefined. And so type could either be a function or a button or a operator. If we have button function, what color is that? That is color A5, A5, A5. And also notice that the font size, the font color is black. So color is black, background is gonna be A5, A5, A5. And also if we have button operator, then the color is white. However, the background color is this weird orange color. That is F1A33C. Let's see if that works. Yep, so that's kind of looking like a calculator. That's so far so good. None of our buttons work, however. So let's try to rectify that one by one. And I'm gonna introduce some state into our app. I'm gonna use hooks. What should I call it? I'm gonna put value and set value. This will be the value of our calculator of our input. Do state. Make sure you import that up here. And we're gonna default it, and it's gonna be a string actually. I'm gonna use state 0, and let's make sure we put that here. Let's see if it worked. Maybe if we have 1, 2, 3, yep, that's good. And what else do I want to do? All right, let's start adding the functionalities in. So we need to have an onPress method handler here. I'm going to define one here. Const handle button press. It's gonna be, let's see. Let me show you guys what I'm gonna do first. I'm gonna put an onPress here. I'm gonna get this, grab all of them, and put an on click here. On button click, that's what I'm gonna call it, and handle button press, like so. Now I'm gonna destructure this prop that we just made. And we're clicking this div, so after long class name, on click, on button click, but we need a way to distinguish what button we're pressing. So I'm gonna put a parameter of content. Now, in order to do that, we gotta make this our first parameter be the content. But if we just do it like this, it's immediately gonna call the function, which is something we don't want. So we want to have another arrow function inside, like so. And let's just assume that what we pressed is one of our number buttons. I'm gonna do this. Set value is going to be parse float. I'm gonna make our value a number first, and I'm gonna add, let's see, I'm gonna add our content, which is the button that we pressed, and I am going to make all of this back to a string. Let's see if that works. Whoops. 3. Yeah, it seems to work. Not ideal, but it seems to work. AC doesn't work. So refresh the page. Let's start taking care of the easy ones. So if content is equal to AC, then set value back to 0. Let's see. If content is equal to a plus minus, and I can actually copy this and bring it over here. Let's do this. If I'm gonna parse float it and make that into a variable here. Then this would be num, like so, and then let's do if num is less than 0, then set value. And by the way, after this, we want to return so that we don't hit any of the other if conditions. Set value as num times -1, but make that back to a string. Else set value. Actually, we do the same thing either way. It doesn't matter if it's less than 0 or greater than 0. We're going to multiply it by -1 anyways. Like so. Let's see if that works. So 6. Oops. And we want to return after. The reason why it did this weird thing is because it continued reading and did this right here, which is what we don't want happening. Minus, yeah. I'm actually gonna parse float here and hoping that that will get rid of the 0 in the beginning. Yep. Before we had this 0 in the beginning, now we got rid of that. All right, so we have that. Percentage sign is also easy to deal with. We just divide by 100. Also want to return. Refresh the page. 8. Percent sign is 0.008. That is good. Oh, the AC works too. 65 percentage is 0.65. That's good. All right, so we got that down. We got this down. Decimal is probably the hardest, so I'm gonna do that later. I'm gonna do. If you grab your phone, we need to, don't grab your phone, actually, I changed my mind. We need a way to keep track of the number that, for example, if I write 25 plus 13, we have to remember the 25 that we have pressed. So I'm gonna introduce a new variable called memory useState, and I'm gonna initialize it as null because in the beginning we don't have any memory. But if we press one of our operator buttons, by the way, when we press AC, we should set the memory back to null. And I think if we also press the percent size, that's pretty much done. So we should also set it back to null. And if, let's do this. If content is equal to plus to something, I'm just gonna bring this for all of our operators. Get our hyphen. Remember, this is not a hyphen, it's a little dash, it's different. And get our little cross. Again, this is not an X, it's a cross. And get our division sign. There we go. All right, so once we press one of these, this is what we're gonna do. We are going to set value back to 0. No. Before we do that, we're gonna set the memory of the number version of our value. So parse float of our value that we have typed in thus far. And then set the value back to 0. We also gotta remember. Let me actually just bring this over here. I think I'm thinking too much. Let's see what we get. Let's just try to get the plus to work. Yeah. And by the way, we gotta return after all of these. Oops. Because we don't want to do the thing in the bottom. Yeah, so it seems to work. By the way, we don't have an equal sign too. And I think after we do whatever, our computation with the equal sign, we're just gonna reset our memory back to null. All right, so that's it. That's it. Let's see, parse into parse float. What are we gonna do? How are we gonna remember that we have just clicked our operator? So I'm gonna keep track of our operator. Use set operator. This will also be null in the beginning, and therefore it's a bit tedious. Not only when we press AC do we set the memory to null, we set the operator back to null. And we do the same thing when we press, when we press the percentage sign. Let's see. And when we press the equal sign. Here we set operator to plus. Here we set the operator to this minus sign. Here we set the operator to this cross. Kind of wish I didn't use these symbols, but whatever. Here we set the operator to a division sign. 25 plus 23. Now, if, let's do this. If we press equal, then let's see if we don't have an operator. If not operator, then just return, don't do anything. However, if we do have an operator, set value to, let's see, our, let me do this. If our operator is equal to a plus, then set value, we're gonna add memory and our value, parse float, and I'm gonna make this all to a string. Else if operator is equal to a hyphen, set value memory minus parse float value to string. Else if operator is equal to a cross, value memory, I'll put a parentheses because we're going to string it later, memory times parse float value to string, and else if operator is equal to a division sign. Set value memory parse float value to string it. Let's see if that works. 1 plus 3 is 4. Good. 2 minus 1 is 1. Okay, let me see if that really works. Oh, 8 minus 6 is 2. Good. 5 times 9 is 45. Good. 9 divided by 2 is 4.5. Very good. What if we keep on adding like 2 plus 3 plus 6? That is not 9. That is 11. So we gotta add in the functionality to do that too. So this is what we're gonna do. We have to see if we have an operator in place. If operator is not null, that means we already had a previous operation. Then we gotta perform the operation first. We have to do this. This is gonna be very redundant. However, we have to, maybe I'll refactor later, but let's just grab this. Do that. And whoops, put this also here and here and here. Let's see if that works. 1 plus 2 plus 3 should be 6, not 5. So something's not working. It's still not working. Let's see. Memory. We're setting the value and then we're parsing the float. Let's grab these, set memory, and instead of setting the memory to this, we will only do that if it is null. Let's see if that works. I'm not gonna bring that over here for now, just leave in the plus. 2 plus 3 plus 4 is not 54. 1 plus 2 plus 3 is not 33, so something weird is happening here, and I know why. Parse float memory. Set memory should not be a toString. Sorry about that. It should just be that. Let's see, 1 plus 2 plus 3 should give us 6. There we go. 7 plus 8 plus 9 should be something, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure it's that. All right, so let's get this all the way over here. Erase the set memory. replace it with that, get rid of that dot. Now let's test it and make sure that it works for all operators. So plus, let's just make sure plus works again. 1 plus 4 plus 7 should be 12. There we go. 6 minus 2 minus 1 should be what? 3. There we go. 1 times 2 times 3 should be 6. There we go. 9 divided by 2 divided by 3 should be some fraction. There we go. All right, so that seems to work. So that's good. Now let's take care of the hard part, which is the decimal point, the dot here. So let's see. I'm gonna put the case for the decimal point here. If content is a dot, then what do we want to do? I first want to see if I already have a decimal point in my input. If I do, then just pretty much we don't want to do anything. We don't want 2 points in our input. So I'm going to check to see if we already have a decimal or not. And the way that I'm going to do that is because our value is a string, I could just check it. If value includes a dot, then don't do anything, just return. Otherwise, value plus equals, no, not that. Set value plus a dot. Let's see if that works. 2, 3, dot. Doesn't work. Why? Because we want to return after. 2, 3, dot. Now that works, but the moment I press something else, the dot goes away. And this is why the decimal is such a headache. We have to account for that. So the moment after this, see, the number right now is 23, but we are writing 23 dot. After we click another number, then our inputs are easier to deal with. But right now is the hardest part to deal with because we got this weird decimal at the very end. So I'm gonna introduce a new variable called const decimal is pressed set decimal is pressed. Actually, no, I don't need to do that. I'm gonna check when we are typing it a number. If you're at the very here, that we assume that we're typing in a number, one of these guys, because we have taken care of all the other conditions in the ifs up here. So we're gonna do this. If value at value.length -1, if the last one is a dot, then we have typed in a dot. So I'm going to do set value as value plus a dot. No, it already has a dot. Plus the content. That should work. Otherwise, do this. Hopefully that should work. 2.3. Yes, that works. So 2.3 plus 6.1. No idea why it gave me that. I think it's just JavaScript issue, but that's something I can't control. It's how JavaScript deals with numbers. Yeah. All right, so that's good. So I think we're getting close. We're getting close. Before we continue on, I want to stylize our app a little bit more. Let me make an assets folder here, or assets. I'm gonna bring in an image that I got. You could get this from my GitHub. I'm calling this image menu. Whoops, that did didn't work. Let me try one more time. There we go. Calling it menu.png. Again, you can get this from my GitHub. Go to my app.index.com, import that image in, import menu from, go out one more time, assets, menu.png. And within, let's also introduce, I want to make this an actual time, not some fake bullshit time. And we are going to do this. Const, I'm gonna set a variable time, set time, useState, I'm gonna default to add a new date. And here, I'm gonna make two divs. I'm gonna call it the time, put our time here. That's gonna look weird, but just bear with me so far. And the menu, and I'm gonna put image of our menu that we have just imported. Menu, so it doesn't complain to us. Let's see what we have is, we got an error, objects are not valid time. I see. All right, so this is what we have to do. To get the time, I'm gonna format it, time, get hours, and time, what's the best way like this, get minutes. Let's see if that works. Yeah, so that looks a little better. And also let's format this now. Go to our app CSS, go to our top right here. This is going to be a display flex. We have two items inside, so we're just going to justify content space between. I'm going to put a big space around them like so. So that's already looking good. Now this time won't update. And by the way, I want to pad the left side of, in case we have like 8 minutes. I don't want to have it say 17.8. I want to have to say 17.08. And the way that we do that is this. I first make this a toString and pad start, make it 2 and pad it with zeros. And I'm going to do the same thing for my hours. Now one thing I could do is make this a 12-hour time, but I'm too lazy right now. I don't want to do it. So we have this. Let's stylize this part right here. Get rid of the hyphen. We don't need the hyphen. We're just gonna style it to make it look like that. Let's see, with 200. I'm gonna use position absolute on my app container. Position absolute. Alphabetize this. Oh, okay. I have OCD, so I need this alphabetical order. Oh, there we go. Bottom. Did I put position? No. Position relative, I'm sorry. And then this one will be position absolute. Width we're gonna say is 200 pixels. Let's say the height is, I don't know, 5 pixels. And its background is gonna be white. And where is the position? In the bottom, 5 pixels away. Let's see what that looks like. Oh, it looks like that. We gotta center it. Now, one way to center it is to do this. Left will be 50%, and then transform into translate X 50%. There we go. Now that looks kind of good. Actually, I'm gonna make the bottom 10 pixels, and I'm gonna put some borders around it. Border radius 4 pixels. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, so that looks pretty good. All right, so we are almost done. Maybe one thing I want to do is put commas when we start typing, when we get to big numbers. So the way that, and the commas are don't appear after the decimal point, only before. So I'm gonna make a utils folder for our functions, and I'm gonna call this commafy. const comma phi is going to be some function, and we're going to export default comma phi. Let's go back to our app, and we are going to comma phi the value comma phi. So WebStorm automatically imported it for me here, but if you don't have that feature, then just make sure you write this at the very top. I'm gonna bring this up here. Oh no, down below the button. And then let's see our comma phi. We want to take a value and we want to comma phi it. So I'm gonna do this. If value is a string, remember, if includes period, this is too big for me. I can't work with this. Why is it here? Okay, that's a bit weird. Okay, const comma phi is a function. If it has a period, I want to strip out the right side of the period. That value, I'm gonna replace the value with values substring from 0 to where the period is. So where is the period? Value index of period. I want to get the left side of that, so that should work. All right, so we stripped out the value a little bit. Okay, I don't know why I'm getting an error here. I think it's a bug. All right, now we did that. What else do we want to do? If we have a hyphen, actually, let's do this. Let output is gonna be just an empty string now, and I'm gonna say output is gonna be a value substring of that, and that right side is gonna be an empty string too. This is the decimal. Let's call it decimal. Decimal is going to be value substring value index of period, and we go to the end, so we don't need a second parameter. All right, so we have that. Now I want to see if it has if it is negative. That is neg if value if value is less than 0, then it's true, otherwise false. Okay, now I don't want to do it like this. That is neg if value is less than 0. Let me parse float this just in case. If it's less than 0, is neg is true, and also I'm gonna set, and I'm gonna do this after we did that. Output is equal to I want to take out the negative in the beginning. Output substring 1. Take out the first one. Else is neg is false. Or we could say it's false. Assume it's false. And only set it to true if it is less than 0. All right, so now our output is just the numbers to left of the decimal and no negative numbers. So I'm gonna put commas there. So the way that I can do that is this. Return, so first, let's do this. If is neg, then put negative, what do I want to do? Get the output to locale case, to locale string, we'll put commas to it, then decimal, or output to locale string plus decimal. That could work terribly, or it could work. Let's see if it works. It does not work. Why is that? Export default. Constant. What? Let's see if it's actually getting in there. Console log inside comma phi. Yep, so we are in here, but for some reason we're not getting any value. So let's see what our stuff are. Is neg console log output console log decimal. So output is nothing, decimal is nothing. That's not good. So what is our value then? Value was 0, so I'm not sure why we are getting nothing. Let's do this. If value is 0, then return value. That seems to work. And the moment we press things don't work. So let's see what is happening. Oh, I see what we did. Okay, so if it includes this, if it doesn't include it, then we just gotta do this. Output is just a value, and decimal is nothing. And we don't. I'll just leave it there. Right. So 9, 8, 5, 6. Oh, it's not doing it. Why is it not doing it? Output to locale string. Let's see. Output seems to be correct, but to locale string doesn't seem to work. So this is what I'm gonna do. Parse float, make it into a float first, and then to locale string it. Let's see if that works. Nope, it doesn't work, because I also want one here. Yep, now it works. That's good. 2 point. And that's not what I want. Is that what I want? Yeah, that's what I want. Yeah, that's good. All right. So that seems to work. Now let's see if we can still add. Yep, that's good. Let's get rid of our console logs. Get rid of that. So that's looking pretty good. Now, our time is not getting updated. So to update the time, we could do this. Put a useEffect lifecycle method. We are gonna invoke this useEffect whenever the date get minutes is changed. And if that's the case, we are gonna set time to our new time. Oops. Unfortunately, you just gotta take my word for it that this works. I hope that it works, because I'm not gonna wait here until the minute changes. And what else can we do? I'm liking the app so far. Let's see. Yeah, you know what? One thing I could do is make the font go smaller here, but we'll do that maybe as an optional exercise. And we could put some transitions here. Let's try that. Button. forgot what it was called. Whoops, what happened here? For state, active and focused. Focus. Active and button focus. What I'm gonna do is set the filter and brightness to 120%. How about that? And I'm gonna add a transition here. No, just a filter, 0.3 seconds. Ease into it. There we go. You see that little color change? It's not exactly like the iPhone, but it's better than nothing. And I am gonna leave this app at that. Hey, thank you guys so much for joining me today in building this replica of an iPhone calculator using React. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you guys did, please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. And I'll be releasing new tutorials, whether it be code alongs or algorithms or whatever you guys may like, releasing those every single day. So please stay tuned and I will see you guys next time.